Para po sa inyong lahat. At this point, discuss about your concept meningitis. Ayan, it's one of the best concept at suking-suki pa rin sa ating mga examinations pagdating sa ating neuro, sa ating adult health nursing, sa NCLEX at sa PNL and even at your nursing school. So, dahil dito nababasa na naman natin ang ITs, I know what's pondering on your mind is that we have an inflammation. At kapatid, hindi tayo nagkakamali dyan. Okay? So, kapag ganito kapatid ang usapin, huwag na nating papahirapan ang ating mga sarili. Because we know for a fact that kapag may itis is already inflammation. So, what we'll be thinking about now is that there's an inflammation, there's a disruption of the functioning. Ang tanong na lang ngayon kung ano yung mga manifestations na mamamayani and what will be, okay, what will be the interventions that we'll be having. Actually, our intervention is just based on the manifestations. It's just based on what have caused the disease at hindi po yun lumalabas sa konseptong ito. Okay, so let's start now on our description of the disease. Kapag sinabi nating meningitis, it is an inflammation of the arachnoid and pia mater of the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, pareho din siya sa ating encephalitis kapatid. And that's true and that's correct. Okay? So, ibig sabihin kapatid that your meningitis is also an inflammatory disease. Hindi tayo nagkakamali dyan. No? It's an inflammatory disease wherein the central nervous system, to be specific class, the brain and the spinal cord, saan sa brain at sa spinal cord sa ating arachnoid and pia mater is inflamed po ang part ng brain natin dito. Okay? So, ano nga bang naging dahilan? Kapatid, simple lang isulat mo. Bacteria or virus, that could be the cause. Okay? That could be the cause of our meningitis. However, fungal and protozoal meningitis may also occur. So, hindi lang siya bacterial, hindi lang siya viral. At alam ko, minsan, no, or madalas, nakakarinig tayo, bacterial meningitis. So, it is caused by a certain bacteria, no? Now, viral naman, yes, commonly narinig din natin to. And rarely po yung fungal at saka protozoal. But they can be causes, kapatid, tandaan natin. Yan. Okay? So now, what could be the predisposing factors? So let's discuss about your predisposing factors. Firstly, nagkaroon ng skull fracture. Tandaan nyo yan. Okay, so nagkaroon ng skull fracture. Nagkaroon ng infection. So that could be, okay, that could be a predisposing factor leading to your meningitis. Another is your brain or spinal injury. And that's correct, kapatid. Tandaan mo yan. Okay, brain or your spinal injury. Sinus infection or your upper respiratory tract infection. That's why, class, I'm going to highlight this one. Kapatid, kapag nagkakaroon ng upper respiratory tract infection, bantayin natin ang pasyente, lalo-lalo na sa ating pong mga pediatric patients. Okay? Tandaan natin to because your upper respiratory tract infection, class, is one of the leading causes, class, or predisposing factors towards your meningitis. So, isulat mo yan. Okay, also the use of nasal sprays. Yan, hindi tayo masyado maingat, no, sa paggamit ng ating nasal sprays. Nako-contaminate yan ng mga viruses at ang microorganisms, kapatid. Pinamamahayan yun ng mga bacteria, class. It may lead to your meningitis. Tandaan mo yan. And of course, lahat ng to hindi mangyayari. Okay? All those cases wherein nagkakaroon po tayo ng immunosuppression or suppress po ang ating immune system. Such as, say, for example, for those patients, kapatid, na nagtitake ng ating pong corticosteroids or may mga immunosuppressive disorders. Okay? Such as, say, for example, your HIV and AIDS. They're very, very prone to having meningitis. Isulat mo yan. Okay. So now, what is the way or what are the ways we use, no, to diagnose our meningitis? First, kapatid, ina-analyze po natin ang ating cerebrospinal fluid. Tandaan mo yan. CSF analysis, you write that down. Okay? Why do we do this? Bakit natin ginagawang CSF analysis? To determine the type of meningitis, kapatid. So, probably ginagawa dyan ang CNS or the cultural sensitivity, or we're determining whether it is a bacterial type or viral type. Okay? Isulat mo. Okay? How do we do that? We do that by CSF analysis. Ganito, kapatid. Okay? So, ang ating pong diagnosis na lalabas, kapatid, kapag may meningitis tayo, ganito. Kapag cloudy ang CSF mo, kapag may increased protein sa CSF mo, kapag may increased WBC or leukocytosis sa CSF mo, kapatid, okay, you write that down. Okay, positive na tayo or pwede na tayong makapagsabi na may meningitis si patient po natin. Okay, another also is kung may decreased glucose count si patients. Why? Because the bacteria or the microorganism is actually consuming the glucose contents, kapatid, ng ating cerebrospinal fluid. So, tandaan po natin yan. Again, CSF is cloudy, increased protein, and then increase din po ang WBC, and then may decreased glucose counts is because nga kinokonsume po, kapatid, okay, ng ating pong microorganisms, kapatid, dyan. So, now, how can we what's the mode of transmission of your meningitis? So, it occurs high in areas like mga lugar na kung saan may high population density. So, anong mga halimbawa nun, class? So, example in college dormitories, sa ating pa mga dorm, sa mga paaralan, sa mga kolehiyo, no, sa mga nagbo-boarding house na kung saan there's halimbawa, no, yung mga bed spacer na 5, 6, 3, 4 sila in the room. Okay, that's a area, or that's an area na kung saan there's a high possibility, no, na we can acquire meningitis. Another is sa mga presohan po or in the prisons. So this is also common, kapatid. So you write that down. Okay, so ang mode of transmission natin kapag itanong, kapatid, it's direct contact. You write that down, direct contact or droplet. Okay, tandaan po natin. Yan, okay? So, that's it, kapatid. So, what are the assessments, kapatid, na possible? Una, posible, class, na magkaroon ng sudden onset of fever, which is the most common symptom, kapatid, na makikita natin. Nuchal rigidity, or dito po, yung tinatawag po natin stiff neck, but it's more of the more extensive type of your stiff neck. This is nuchal rigidity, which is also most common symptom, and mild lethargy, which is a most common symptom. Kapatid, kapag nakita po natin ang triad na ito, sudden onset of fever, nuchal rigidity, mild lethargy, kapatid, candidate na si pasyente natin for meningitis. Mild lethargy, kapatid, you write that down. Why? Because mostly, no, nagkakaroon tayo ng sudden onset of fever, mild lethargy, and then nuchal rigidity. Ito po ang madalas tinatanong, this triad, kapatid. Okay? So, another is altered LOC also. Photophobia. So, alam mo na, what type of room are you going to prepare? So, yung mga dim light or yung mga madidilim na room, so you need to prepare those rooms. Okay? And we've also discussed about this one, your Kernig sign and then your Brudzinski sign. So, kapag sinabi natin Kernig sign, uulitan natin just like in your encephalitis, kapatid, there is a resistance or pain during extension of the patient's knees. And Brudzinski sign naman, kapatid, when there is pain when flexing the individual's neck while lying flat on their back. Okay, positive din po ang ating pong red macular rash and also abdominal and chest pain. So, tandaan po natin yan. Okay? Your nuchal rigidity, your Kernig sign, your Brudzinski sign, kapatid, are there. Okay? So, now, tandaan natin, by the way, let's go back. Your nuchal rigidity, your Kernig sign, and Brudzinski sign, kapatid, is actually a sign, okay, of your irritability, class, that's happening, class, in your meninges. That's what we call as your signs of meningeal irritation. Okay, so you write that down. Your nuchal rigidity, your Kernig sign, and Brudzinski sign, ulitin po natin, that's a sign of your meningeal irritation. So, isulat po natin yan. So, anong gagawin natin? First, you monitor vital signs and your neurostatus. Tandaan natin yan. Assess for increased ICP. Ayan. And also, kapatid, initiate seizure precautions. So, ito yung pinakamahalaga dito, ha, yung initiate seizure precautions. Alam natin yan. Okay, you always have to be ready with the airway support, kapatid. You always need to priority the safety of the patient. Okay, so, you initiate seizure precautions. Administer antibiotics as prescribed. You write that down and also assess for meningeal irritation. Yun na yung sinasabi ko yung tatlo. The nuchal rigidity, the Kernig sign, and also, kapatid, your Brudzinski's sign. Yan, maraming salamat, Caps. I hope and I pray that we've learned in your meningitis. See you guys on our next uploads. Ingat po.